Hi folks and friends on YouTube. Thanks for being here. I'm Still Dreaming is my channel, and in this video I was going to briefly share a sad story. My last video, I mentioned at the end of the video that I had a sad story that I thought I might share on my channel, although it's not really something that affected me personally. I didn't know the young woman who basically unalived herself is what happened. But she was a friend of my daughter's. She was an ex-co-worker of my daughter's. They met each other when this young lady worked for Amazon. And as a matter of fact, her and her husband both started to work for Amazon together at the same time. And my daughter, Helena, had already been working there. And so the three of them met each other. So my daughter, Helena, met them together at the same time, a young couple, 29 years old, both of them. And my daughter's 27, and they hit it off. And what ended up happening, though, was before long they quit Amazon, the couple, but they stayed friends with my daughter Helena. So every once in a while she would go over to their apartment, and little by little, over time, my daughter began to see that the two of them had somewhat of a toxic relationship, and they used to fight a lot. And so this tragedy that just happened just a week ago, yesterday, so last Sunday, is when it happened. And the reason why my daughter was kind of like brought into the situation was because, believe it or not, well, let's put it to you this way. In the middle of the night, she got a text message from the young man who was calling, very distraught, extremely distraught, because he was in an ER. He was at a hospital ER room, because his wife had injured herself, and they had been fighting, unfortunately, that day, all day Sunday, and I guess they had been drinking somewhat too, and the fight escalated, and terribly, to a point where she ended up self-harming herself, and she died from her self-inflicted injuries. And he reached out to my daughter. Now, when she came to me and told me what was happening early the next morning, I was a little bit, perplexed at the fact that of all people, why was this young man reaching out to my daughter? And I asked her why. Wasn't there anyone else that he could call? And evidently, sadly, neither one of them have very much family support. Both of them came from dysfunctional families. So this young man didn't know who else to reach out to. So he called my daughter, and she went early in the morning to his apartment. And to make matters even more sad, is that they had two kids together, a little boy and a little girl, 9 and 7 years old, a little boy and a little girl. And now their mother's gone. And so anyway, her name was Jasmine. The mother's name was Jasmine. And tomorrow night is they're having a rosary for her at a funeral home, and then the following morning is going to be her funeral mass, and then her funeral, her burial at a funeral, Santa Clara Catholic Cemetery. So so that was the, that was the sad story. And it really, the first few days, my daughter was, kind of going through a period of shock, because well, just the idea of you might know someone, and they're here one day and the next day that person's gone. And so she's never really, this kind of thing has never happened this closely to my daughter before. So she was kind of just in shock. She's fine now. She's going to be going to the rosary and to the funeral on Wednesday morning. And so yeah, that was the sad story to tell. It's, I don't know if you could call this a suicide. I'm not sure. She did self-harm in front of him and in front of her two children. And she died. She died from her self-inflicted wound. So so yeah, that was the sad story that I wanted to share. And then I'm gonna my daughter shared one picture of the young lady who passed away a week ago. So I have my other phone here, so I'm going to show you. So this is the young girl. Her name was Jasmine, and that's her little boy, and that's her little girl. And yeah, she's gone now. So these two little children don't have a mom anymore. And anyway, I came over here to a church. It's actually a chapel. It's close to my home. It's right off the freeway. If you can see the cars there on the freeway, that's the 101. And this chapel is the Santa Clara Catholic Chapel, and it's been here well over 100 years now. And the actual church, the Santa Clara Church, is in Oxnard, and we're on the outskirts of Oxnard. And my intention was to. Local history. The Santa Clara Chapel is known for its historic. My intention was to take you for a little tour inside the chapel, but just in the 5 or 10 minutes that I have been sitting here, more cars have been pulling up into the parking lot. So I'm not sure what they're having inside the chapel. We used to, when I was 35 years ago, I used to attend this church. This was our church because we're just several streets away. But about 30 years ago, I started going to another church, which is in Ventura, and that church is Sacred Heart Catholic Church. And this church is the Santa Clara Church, but this is the chapel right here that we're looking at. So there's people arriving, but I'm going to go ahead and just walk over to the front of the church and just show you the front of the church, and maybe I'll just open the front door and take a peek inside. I won't be able to talk, and narrate while I'm taking the video, though. We'll see. I'm just going to have to play it by ear. But there are more people pulling up as I speak. I had a couple of videos ago, I shared my intentions for Lent, and one of the intentions that I had put that I wanted to do for Lent was to visit other Catholic churches. So I have not been inside this church since 2009. That was January 2009, and that was the month and year that my mother passed away. And we had my mother's funeral mass here in this little chapel. This is the Santa Clara Catholic Church, and we had her mass, her rosary, and her mass here. And then the following day was her burial at the Santa Clara Catholic Cemetery. So we're just gonna walk over there. So this is me right here, and this is a sign here in front of the chapel, Santa Clara Chapel, and they have Mass here Sunday 8 and 12 p.m. the Spanish Mass, and at 10 a.m. they have their English Mass, and they have their confessions on Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. and they have Holy Hour on Friday at 4 p.m. So let's just walk around to the front so you can have a look-see. So I'll try and do a little narration while we walk to the front, but you're going to hear background noise because that is the freeway right there. That's the 101 freeway. So I'm going to turn around in a minute or a second, and you can see the front of the chapel. Isn't that nice? That is so nice. Here it is. There's the church bell. There's the steeple. Oh wow. Let's go see what that sign says. I just thought of something. This was the actual, this was the original church, and it's the original location, and this chapel was established in 1885. So welcome to the historic Santa Clara Chapel in the heart of El Rio. That's where my little neighborhood It's El Rio, and so this chapel was established in 1885, so it's quite old. So this was the original church, and then some years later, I think the church in Oxnard, maybe, I think it was built maybe in the 1920s. Maybe, I'll have to look it up. So they built a bigger church, and so that became the church, and they made this the chapel. There's two entrances, one on either side, like that. See that right there? That's the on-ramp right there in front of me to get onto the 101. So that's going north towards Ventura and then on to Santa Barbara. And it's going south will take you to Los Angeles. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to the entrance. Okay, so I'm going to have to like not talk, but I'll try to take a little video. And like I said, there's a gathering inside the chapel. I'm not sure what it's about. As I said, I don't come to this chapel anymore. But this was the chapel where we had my mother's funeral mass, and that was in January of 2009. Oh, they're singing. Wasn't that so nice? I don't know what exactly it was about. I wish I did so I could give an explanation. Alright, you guys, I guess I'm gonna close my video now. I gotta go home and make dinner. I'm making a chicken enchilada, but I'm taking a lot of shortcuts, I guess you could say. I'm glad I came. I think, oh, more people are coming. I wonder if it's a special mass that they're having. Did you see that poster that I was taking video of, that little boy? It has something to do with that, but I don't know for sure. All right, so anyways, I'm just gonna get back to my car and then I'll turn off the video. This right here is the office space to the chapel. That's the back of the chapel there. And this is their classrooms and their office, the rectory to the chapel. All right, everybody, thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.